Welcome to Parev-TV. Today we have a very interesting and very different program. It's an interview with a very young, energetic, upcoming Armenian who's been very involved in the community. His name is Sevan Araz. Yes, he is the son of Ara Araz and Alin Araz of New Jersey. And the reason we were excited, in fact, today also, his article, which appeared in the Middle East Institute concerning Turkey's new social media law, appeared on the internet. Some people have started to forward the article to each other, and I will not be surprised if some of our viewers have already read the article, which was lengthy, very, very professionally written. As I said, it was co-written by Sevan Araz. Sevan, the article is titled Censorship Streamlined, Turkey's Social Media Law and the Future of Free Speech Online in the Middle East. Could you capsule what is so important about this article? We all know how important free speech is in the Middle East and anywhere in the world, but what is the gist of it? What is the critical part of the article?
Thank you, Vartan. The article concerns a new amendment passed by the Turkish legislature last week to Turkey's internet law, and it allows for the streamlining of Turkish censorship operations. Previously, if the Turkish authorities took issue with a post on social media, on Facebook or Twitter, they would obtain a court order which would allow a local network provider in Turkey to censor the material. And according to this new law, which is very concerning because it sets a precedent for the Middle East and other authoritarian states across the world, it mandates that social media websites with over 1 million followers in Turkey actually establish representatives, semi-ambassadorships, if you will, in Turkey in order to coordinate the censorship activities of the Turkish government. And if social media organizations do not comply, the penalties range from fines, which can go into very large amounts, over $800,000, and they increase as time prolongs. And also, Turkey could actually cut the bandwidth of websites, rendering them unusable in Turkey.
Is there any other country that does this, Sevan?
Not that I know of. Other countries have. So this is somewhat a step towards a more sanitized Turkish internet. Mm-hmm. And countries such as China and other authoritarian states do have firewalls that limits access to certain materials. So this may be a step in that direction. Mm-hmm. Which is very concerning.
Yeah, Sevan, this is pretty specialized area. I'm sure many people are very proud of you writing this article. And maybe you can, in simple words, tell us what is the impact on civil society, which you also addressed in your article.
Well, it will squeeze civil society and will restrict their ability to use social media for a few functions. It will limit their ability to spread awareness about certain issues, to hold the government accountable for issues. I point out in the article that last year there was a social media campaign to attain justice for a young woman who was murdered by two of her colleagues in Ankara 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And she received justice, and the two perpetrators were sentenced after a very long court case, which involved, and the perpetrators, even though there was overwhelming evidence, were actually released 3 times during the case.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Continue, please. I'm sorry.
No, so it will further limit the use of social media as a channel to spread information, to raise awareness, to create coalitions between different social media, between civil society, which I think, in terms of the impact on our community in Istanbul, the detriment can be that they will no longer be able to spread awareness about different issues. During the coronavirus pandemic, we did see that several Armenian churches were vandalized, and Turkish authorities did end up taking action. But we have to see that this may have an impact on civil society and the Armenian community in spreading awareness about vandalization of our churches or properties and monuments in Anatolia, and also creating alliances with other civil society organizations.
You know, obviously, there will be a response from different platforms. What can they do? What is their what is the alternative to fight the government?
Well, interestingly, social media organizations have not responded to the law, which maybe they're trying to catch Turkey's bluff. It's not obvious whether time will tell whether, I mean, the law will come online in the fall. They'll come into effect in the fall. So it will be apparent by then if Turkey is just bluffing or whether they will follow through and actually limit access to these websites. And the issue is, I was speaking to a Turkish journalist a few weeks ago, and his fear was that, Facebook is not solely a channel for communication. So these issues, these communications cannot migrate to smaller platforms in order to circumvent the ban. Social media's value is also that it grants you access to a wider audience. And so Turkish society will no longer have access as easily to a large audience to spread awareness about certain issues, raise money, mobilize supporters. And also, yes, Vartan.
What other platforms are there besides Facebook? We don't realize there's so many other means of communication. What do other companies do?
WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, Signal is used quite often in Turkey. It's also a Telegram, which is used in Iran quite often, also is used in Turkey. And these may become more viable. These people may be able to migrate to these platforms to circumvent the ban. However, once these organizations and these platforms gain 1 million followers in Turkey, they will also be covered by the law as well.
What does this give the government? Why would they want to push it to the limit?
The Turkish government is a very precarious state at this point. They're dealing with a medley of crises, especially the economic crisis. And this will allow them to sanitize the internet and stifle dissent as their vulnerability escalates. But I would like to add that when I was speaking to the journalist I mentioned before, he was talking about the fear is, which is also an issue for our community as well, he feared that he termed this law as an assault on Turkey's digital memory. Because this will allow the Turkish authorities to actually strip the internet and strip the digital vestiges of their acts in the past. So, for example, issues with there was a mining incident a few years ago in Turkey, which was very mishandled by the government. Those issues, corruption scandals, can be removed from the internet, not allowing locals to have access to the information, which is very concerning.
Your article, as I said, in fact, a couple hours ago, appeared on my email, and people are forwarding it to each other. Did your article appear in any other magazine or any other place?
Not that I'm aware of. It was tweeted on the Middle East Institute's website, but not yet.
What is your next article going to be?
My next article is going to be on the AI policy of the United Arab Emirates. So discussing, the United Arab Emirates has an AI ministry, and they've implemented a lot of legislation on the matter over the last few years. So I'm discussing their approach to AI management and also concerns posed by AI's integration into security operations in the UAE.
You should remind us that AI stands for artificial intelligence. We all know these things. Sevan, I'm sure you understand the excitement that I have, the community has, seeing some article signed by you and your colleague. And it's something we'd like to wish you to continue and hope to really get more articles. What is it one needs to be able to write these things? How much time does it take? How much research?
It depends. I like to, when approaching research, I like to consult various different works. So I look at scholarly articles, I look at news articles. Also, speaking to people on the ground and consulting domestic materials is also important, because you want to include domestic perspectives as well.
So I know there's a lot of work, Sevan. All I can say, we wish you the best, and we look forward to hearing more from you and your articles which will hopefully appear in very, very respectable newsletters and magazines. And thank you very much for your time. Anything else you would like to close?
I would not like that. I actually did write, I would like to add one thing. I did write an article a few months ago about Lebanon's cybersecurity policy.
I did not see it, so hopefully next time you send it to me, and we'll invite you to be on Parev-TV and let the community be so proud of the younger generation. We thank you very much for your time, Sevan.
Thank you, Vartan.